Welcome to Grassroots Safety Conversations with Ross. Yes, I'm your host. Naturally, my name is Ross. As your host, look, I've worked in industry for over 40 years and consider myself a bit of a safety professional who has worked at the grassroots, corporate and in the OH&S regulator environment. In saying this, my views and discussions that will be had in these podcasts are from my own experience as a safety professional and do not reflect any official policy or position of the organisation I have worked in or are currently working in. Yes, that's the legal bit out of the way. So here we go. I'm trying to give a bit of an outline what I propose to do on my podcast. I have a topic, lots of topics to talk about. I'm going to give it a little bit of a funny intro to it and try not to talk too long. So I'm trying to think about what's the best way to get some information that people would align to or think of value. So one of my first ones is that I'm going to talk about how did I get into safety? Well, it was funny. It was an itch and I had to scratch it. And that's some of the topics I'm going to be talking about. Education. Well, I went down a long and winding road in my educational process. And you learn about documentation. Well, my background in chemistry, documentation. Boy, we get that when we go out to industry, not another form. And then we talk about, can we make documentation simple? I call that the mousetrap effect. Be careful what you want. I talked briefly about the C word, about culture. We can have one about consultation, and then not another C word, communication. And the final word, C word, crap. What a load of, and how to deal with it. We talk about near misses and how people use dollars to improve reporting. Unbelievable. Why? I've got a response about personal health and safety around when people say, that's not a hazard. Then what is it? Well, I relate that to good old Paul Hogan. That's not a knife. This is a knife. So hazards are all about perceptions. Risky business. Risk-based. Likelihood versus consequences on your actions. My God, that's going to be a doozy. And then, a bit of a classic one. I'm going to call it Inspector Clouseau. Incident investigations. Oh, yes. The trial and tribulations of doing inspections around investigations. Here we go. Pitfalls and roadblocks in safety. The road runner and the coyote effect. Oh my Lord. Yes, another good one. Then I'm going to dig into the KISS principle. Let's keep it simple for you know what. I don't need to tell you those other two words. And then, being an auditor myself, people talk about audits. How many times people tell you, oh no, not another audit. We just had one last week. What the hell is going on? But one of the biggest issues I'm going to talk about is, the old movie, Police Academy, compliance versus pranksters. So there's lots of topics I aim to cover, and hopefully it will be of value. So hang in there and get ready for my first one, which will be released in a week's time. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Look, I hope it's been of benefit to you. Get you to think about your family and friends and how working safely will get you home to them at night. I'm on Instagram. Look me up, Grassroots Safety with Ross. And this is where I will notify when the next podcast is available. Or you can email me at grassrootssafety@outlook.com. Grassroots Safety is all one word. So if you've got a topic or a query or you want to ask me some other questions, look, send an email to me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And the podcast is proudly sponsored by Safety Zone, a consultancy firm based in Victoria, Australia. And look, I don't receive any financial support from them. just moral support. And look, I probably need a lot of it. So, friends, until next time, live long and prosper, as Spock would say.